fake shit is see-through to thoroughbreds. People want you to wear a mask because authenticity often shatters their own. Whenever you're out in public, you're at work or you're in these different environments with a bunch of people, like I said in one of my older videos about social anxiety, you can see who isn't comfortable being around a whole bunch of other people. And you can see it in their actions, how they look at people with their eye contact, with their voice whenever they're talking. Like, are they talking with conviction or are they timid? You know what I mean? Body language. A whole lot of things that are like giveaways whenever someone is not comfortable or is like wearing a mask in public. When you're somebody who doesn't, it rubs people the wrong way. And if you don't believe that, go to your local Walmart and just walk around, and or go to a gym and see what it looks like whenever you're in there and you are purposeful with your lifts versus somebody who's in there for, you know what I'm saying, the first time, or somebody who's ego lifting, right? You'll always you'll catch them just staring and shit at you because it's like, wow, like what's driving this person? Does that make sense? Your originality is going to dim the light of a lot of actors, because it's one thing for you to be doing something because it's cool, and it's another because it's something you care about. How you're going to both be going about that same task is going to be in completely different leagues. It really is. And I saw this when I was in sales. There are people who would focus on just being able to sell shit good, and there are people who focused on being able to teach other people how to sell things, right? And the people who focused on teaching other people how to sell shit, they really did love the process. The people who just wanted to be good at sales, like, they were money hungry, right? Ego driven. They wanted to hear their name shouted out for putting up 8 or 9 in a single day, versus people who would show up to the office and will put up 4 to 5 every day type shit. And you look up and they have a team of 6 to 10 people who can all put up 4 to 5 a day, right? Whenever you're moving authentically and you're really comfortable with your frame, you're going to notice that you're going to dim the light of a lot of actors, and they're going to make the environment that you're in hostile as possible because they want you out of the way. And if you're on your self-improvement journey, you've gone through this. I have no doubt that you have. A large majority of people benefit more off of facades. We live in an age of information, an age of marketing, social media age. Everything's online, right? But if you pull back the veil, almost anything, I'm talking about TV, I'm talking about banks, I'm talking about your government. If you pull the veil back on most things, you will see that nothing is really as it's portrayed. 9 times out of 10, it's this right here. The back end is doing some underhanded shit, and the front end is there for the sole purpose of making it seem like what's going on in the back end isn't happening. That's generally what's going on with everything. And what this does, it allows people to get away with murder. And a good example of that is the banking system. I'll never forget when my father put me on game about what the banking industry really is. So boom, if you were to go in and try and withdraw a large amount of money, one, they're probably gonna look at you crazy because it's like, well, how, like, one, why the fuck do you have this much in a bank account type shit, and two, they're gonna probably tell you that they can't do that. And why can't they do that? Because the money's not actually there. That $10,000 that you're seeing on your banking app most likely is being loaned out to 1,000,001 other different people, while you're only making 1% interest on it. While the bank is charging other people exorbitant interest rates so they can go out and they can do their business elsewhere. That is exactly what is happening. And that's just one example, bruh. We won't even get into what your government does, wherever you're at. I don't give a fuck where you're at. We won't even get into what your government does, but I guarantee you they're on some shady shit just like that, right? But that is a very good example. The banking system. They're the greatest loan sharks out there. I promise you they are. It's cheaper to be yourself. Originality saves you a ton of headaches. It really does. When you're somebody who isn't just dick riding trends and shit like that, and you really are just moving with what makes you comfortable, dog, you're gonna win 10 times out of 10. One, because you're not spending money trying to uphold an image, but two, you're waking up and you're going to sleep every day content with who you really fucking are. And I spoke on that in another video. Like, self-improvement is about getting like figuring out what the baseline is for your temperament, like who you really are, and just leaning into this shit. And I'm talking about a solid middle finger to anybody who doesn't rock with that shit. That's all this is. You get on socials today and it's like everybody is doing what somebody else is doing. Does that make sense? And like I said earlier in the video, you can always see through it. If you're a thoroughbred, you see through all of it. Like, generally, most people aren't on what they portray themselves to be on. They're really not. And I spoke on it like statistically before too. Like, I put numbers to this shit before, bruh. Like, I'm not just trying to berate people or nothing like that. These are facts. Keeping shit real is how you stand the test of time. Longevity is what you should be focused on. You don't want to be the person who is here today, gone tomorrow. You know, how many people have you seen like that just in your lifetime? In business, in the music industry, in all these different places. Like, how many of these idols have been here today and gone tomorrow? A lot of them, bruh. And that's because, bro, most of them are not original at all. They're doing some shit they saw somebody else do, you know what I'm saying, years prior, and think that they can just retro this shit and no one's gonna notice. And the problem with that is that we all do. And you're no different. If you're trying to do something special, understand it's gonna have to be 100% authentically you. You can't make it copying somebody else, not for too long at least. And this is something history has shown us. And if it hasn't shown you, bro, look into this shit, bro. This is all public knowledge, dog. This shit happens every day. Like, one quote I'll leave you with: Coke didn't change their recipe because people like Dr. Pepper. You'll be far more proud of yourself for doing shit with integrity. When you don't have to go to sleep wondering if, is anybody gonna notice if I cut corners, or is anybody gonna notice if I'm copying this or that person, or is anybody gonna notice if all this shit is not, you know what I'm saying, real, not solid. You're gonna sleep way better at night, dog. And that's just what I'm gonna tell you. As far as business goes, I know like some of y'all aren't entrepreneurs. Some of y'all really are walking the corporate route. That's normal. But when you go out on your own, I'm not going to say if, I'm going to say when, because eventually the light bulb is going to go off for you. If you're on self-improvement, it definitely fucking will. Like, you should be in business for yourself first. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. When you're doing good business, do it originally. Do something that's new. Do something that is original. Or if you're not going to do something that's new, make sure you have an original recipe for it. McDonald's makes burgers, so does Burger King type shit, but they don't taste the same at all. And that's what I mean. Make sure you have your own style to everything. Self-improvement is about finding that style, leaning all the way into it, and a middle finger to whoever doesn't rock with it. Don't forget that shit. This is all just some more cold game, some free game that you're going to be needing on your self-improvement journey. Hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, on your self-improvement journey, keep your chin up, your chest out, and always keep it pushing.